Hey, 2K SPQR. It's turn 1, and it's the CSA's turn. 7 o'clock in the morning, July 1st. And up to bat, on turn of arrival, we've got Heath, Archer, Davis, Pettigrew, Brockenbrough. We've got Peedrew's battery. And now we have to get those pieces and get them ready. So we're looking at sequence of activities. And we go over. We have the movement phase, and that is the command determination segment where we choose a primary commander. So we choose Heath. Heath's going to be the primary commander. Then we have the primary movement segment where Heath will enter the board. Then we got the brigade movement segment where the brigade who is under Heath's command will follow. And we don't have to worry about the command movement segment. We don't have to worry about the artillery fire phase, the assault phase, because it's just the beginning of the game. So on the order of appearance, we'll have Archer, Davis, Brockenbrough, and Pettigrew. Those will be the brigade commanders, HQ. We flip them over. And we find out that we have 12 strength points, 24 strength points, 11 strength points, and 29 strength points. The red means that their experience level is seasoned. And we understand that black means experienced. Right here in the center is the Roman numeral 3, which means that these brigade commanders belong to 3rd Corps. So what we're doing is we're activating 3rd Corps. But we got an issue. On the order of appearance, we have strength at entry, which is 18 for these brigades. So if it's 18 already printed, we ignore the numbers on top, and it's going to be 18 strength points for all brigade commanders. So since infantry has strength points of 8, what we will do is divide 8 into 18. And whatever happens to Archer will happen the same for the rest because they're all 18. And what we get is this. And that applies to all of them. Just back that up a little bit. There we go. Now we have batteries. We got Peedrum's battery. The rules state that in column formation, the batteries if in column cannot be more than a strength of 9 limbered. And these batteries are limbered. Therefore, I cannot stack these any higher than 9. Yeah, I only got 4 for each, and if I do want to stack them, I can. So 4 and 4 is 8. I can stack these. 4 and 4 is 8. And of course, 4 and 4 is 8. And I now have a stack of limbered batteries with the maximum strength points allowed in a column formation. But we're still not done yet. I'll just set this right here. I got to find out how much activity points they have. So look at this chart, and let's say I want to go for the primary commander. Fixed activity level for commanders. I got 1 asterisk, so I go up here and I have 8 activity points. Now, since this is a special formation and they are entering the board for the first time, this will apply pretty much to all of the brigades. When they enter at the turn of entry and they are with a commander, primary, they get a special ability to, well, a free ride. Pretty much all activity points will affect everybody. And it will stay that way until one brigade breaks the column up and moves away. Once that happens, they resort to the regular fixed rates. So, since they have entered the board and they are specialized, there will be 8 activity points for all of them. However, I want to show you something here. Let's go over all of it. We know that the primary commander is 8. He's not in battle line, and it's not a cav in column. It's just plain infantry. So there are no disorganization points applying to him. Now let's go to my batteries. Fixed activity level for artillery. I've got 3 asterisks. So I go here to 3 asterisks, and it is 6 activity points. Now, the artillery are specialized where they can move independently. They can stay with the column or they can break away. Once they break away, they are stuck with 6 activity points. If they stay with the column and don't break line and don't break ranks, they get a ride 8. Again, they're not in battle line, there's no disorganization, and they're not a cav in columns, so there's no disorganization as well. And let's take a look at horse artillery. Now you will know that it is horse artillery when you look at the order of appearance card, and there will be an HS or an H. If there is an H, and I don't see one yet, well, right here, that means horse artillery. So if it's horse artillery, we look at fixed activity level for horse artillery, and it's 2 asterisks. We go up here to 2, they have 8 activity points. For horse artillery. Now the other thing we need to consider is the activity chart and movement. I will bring this up a little bit. Now, because they have entered the board and they're under a primary commander, we already determined that it's 8. And they're along the Cashtown Pike, as it says in the order of appearance. The R in column costs 1 activity point to move hex per hex per hex on the road. There is no cav in battle line. They are limbered. Okay, still 1 activity point per hex. Unlimbered is not allowed because unlimbered artillery cannot move. And the commander is 1 hex per movement cost. They're not under the enemy influence, they're not adjacent to the enemy, and they're not in the woods. There's going to be no formation changes. At all. It's just going to be, they're going to stay where they are, so this does not apply. So we have determined everything about the brigades under Heath. So we'll fix to the Cashtown Pike, which is right over here. That'll work. There. Now, there are several different options that you can use to maneuver your entry, and I say entry, brigades. As long as they stay in their brigade formation, they don't break up and get all mixed up. And that is, you can enter them this way. Column formation and bring them up 8 after your primary commander has moved. Or you can consolidate, since they are special entry, and just stack them. They're in column formation. They're not in any type of attack. And it'd look like this. The artillery can be on top of your markers. They can be in the middle, anywhere, even in the rear. I chose to put my artillery up front. As long as they make a continuous line with no more than 2 hexes separation between the other counters, they are pretty much connected, and there is no penalty of breaking up. They can also be one or adjacent to each other, and that'll work just as well. The only thing is you got to let your opponent know that you're doing this. Because in the rules, when units are stacked up like this, it means they're at rest. You got to let your opponent know that they are not at rest and that they are advancing under the command of Heath as primary commander. I suggest you make counters that says rest. So that way, when you do have stacked resting counters, your opponent can look and already see, and as well as you can see, that they're at rest and there's no confusion. So we took care of that. And it's time to put the counters on for real. First thing is Heath. We already checked the road movement rate. It is 8. Primary commander has no subjection to terrain costs, but he has to move 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Heath moves here. Notice that I have counter flat right there. There we go. Okay. You got a little axis right here that runs from here to here. This is the proper placement of the counter. Of course, you can also do this because they are moving in column, and you have an axis here and here. But I'll just put them right there. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my batteries and move them up. And then I'm going to take my first brigade and I'm going to stack them. Individually. They are not at rest. I've told my opponent that they're not. He knows what's going on. And that concludes the CSA's movement. Now for artillery pieces that are limbered, which these are. The maximum stack in a column entry formation is 9 batteries stacked. You can't get any higher limbered. If they're unlimbered, the maximum stack is 15 batteries in a hex. If the batteries are mixed or on top of cav or infantry battle lines, the maximum stack is 24 strength points of a battery stacked in the same hex. Unlimbered batteries do not block road movement. An artillery piece cannot end its move with any corps, division, brigade that is not in its artillery unit. Keep gaming.